Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So today in this video we're taking a look at this. This is the Poco X3. I bought this for a family member and in the beginning I was a little confused between this one and the Samsung M31s. But in the end I went with this one because of the better processor. This phone comes with a Snapdragon 732G and that was the reason I went with this one. So this is available in two variants. If you look at the back, I've got the 6GB 64GB variant. This is also available in 128GB variant, but I went with this one because the 128GB version was out of my budget. Also, the person I bought this for is only going to be using a single SIM with this phone, so that person can easily install another card to expand the memory. The screen on this phone is also really nice. It's a really big LCD panel, IPS panel, 6.67 inch screen. And as you can see, the battery on this phone, you're getting a 6000 milliamp hour massive battery. The camera that you get on this phone is a quad camera setup in which you get a 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, you get a 64 megapixel main camera, you get a 2 megapixel macro lens, a 2 megapixel depth sensor, and for the front camera, that is the selfie camera, you're getting a 20 megapixel selfie camera. So without any further delay, let's just take a look at what we get in the box. And this is the simple box it came in. So let me just open this up and see how the phone looks from inside and what you get in the packaging. So this is how it looks inside. You get to see the Poco. Let me open this. So in this you get so in this compartment you get your SIM injector tool, some literature from Poco. Let's keep that aside for now. And you're also getting a back cover with this. Now this is your typical silicone type back cover. It feels good quality. We'll see how the cutout matches. So let me just keep this aside and we'll see how it looks on the phone. And finally take a look at the phone itself. So this is the phone. Let me just take this out. So as you can see, this is how the phone looks. This is the cobalt blue version. As you can see, the Poco branding. The phone looks really big, and a lot of people have been complaining about the heavy weight of this phone. Honestly speaking, and I'm going to be really honest with you, I don't feel that this phone is really heavy, and also doesn't feel that chunky to me. A lot of people have complained that this feels really big. To me, it doesn't feel that big at all. And I also used the Motorola One Fusion Plus. It feels like just like that. So this is how the phone looks. At the back you can see your camera setup. In the middle is your main camera, your flash. In the front you can see your 20 megapixel selfie camera. At the side you can see your SIM ejector tray. On the left side you can see your fingerprint sensor, which is also embedded with the on off button, your your volume plus and your volume minus button. At the back you can see your 3.5mm jack, your USB-C charging port, your microphone, and the speaker. The speaker on the top, which is your calling speaker, is also used as a speaker for this phone. So that's when you get the dual speaker setup. The back is plastic. A lot of people have already talked about that, and also this plastic moves a little bit. That is also something that you've seen on many videos. I don't have a problem with that. I don't really worry about the plastic, although the phone looks really nice. So let me just put this in the cover and see how it looks after you put the cover on. So this is how the phone looks after you put the cover on. It does feel a little chunky now, but still the weight is still manageable. I don't feel that the phone has become really thick. And let's take a look at the cutout. All the cutouts are matching. I can press the plus minus button easily. All the ports are accessible and really nice. You get a USB-C cover with this, so your port, USB-C charging port, will not get dirty. Your microphone jack is also accessible. All other ports are easily accessible, and here is your infrared remote sensor. So let me just turn this on and see how the phone looks. Let's take a look at what else we get in the box. So in the box you will also get a charger. As you can see, this is a fairly big charger, and if you look, this is how it looks. And from the front you can see some of the specification about this charger. You can see that the output of this charger is going to be 5 volt 3 amperes, 9 volt 3 amperes, 12 volt 2.25 amp, 20 volt 1.35 amp, 11 volt 3 amp maximum. So this is a 33 watt charger. It's one of the biggest charger that I've seen. So charger looks decent quality. Let's put this back, and we will also do a charging test in a future video. The charging cable is your USB-A to USB-C. I'm not sure this is a proprietary cable, whether other cables will work with this charger or not. We will see that. So this is pretty much what you get in the box. So let me just set the phone up, come back and see how the phone looks when you turn it on. Okay, so I've booted up the phone, and this is how the phone looks once you boot this up. So in the beginning there were two themes available, and let me show you what were those two themes. So the two themes were, one was your classic, which is a little darker theme. As you can see, this is how it looks, and other one was this one. This is how it looks. So I went with the limitless theme, which looks a little lighter. After doing that, the other thing I did in my phone is I went into the setting and updated the phone to the latest version of the MIUI. So this is the latest version that was available, 12.0.5.0. After updating the phone MIUI version, I went into the Play Store and I updated all the apps. So after doing all the initial updates, this is the memory that the phone was taking. The phone took 20.2 GB of memory out of 64 GB of storage. So if I go into the specs of the phone, you can see that only 41.7 GB of memory is now available out of 64. So one thing to consider here is, if you want more memory, or if you are going to be installing two SIMs, then you will have to consider the 128 GB version. Or if you want to just install a single SIM, then you can buy a memory card. The other thing that I saw in the phone, there were a couple of useless apps available. Some of them were games and some of them were sports and whatnot. So I was able to easily uninstall them. So after installing and updating all the apps, this is how the phone looks. The phone feels really snappy. So if I go into the setting and if I go into the display setting of the phone, you can see that there are refresh rate option. The phone came at 120 hertz refresh rate. You can set this back to 60 hertz to save a little bit of battery. I'm not sure how much battery that will save, but I could see a little bit of difference in the battery when I was using 60 hertz. So you will definitely save a little bit of battery when using 60 hertz. Anyways, for me, I couldn't really differentiate between the 120 hertz and 60 hertz because I haven't used a 120 hertz phone before. But people claim that once you've used a higher refresh rate phone, then you can see the difference. For me, I wasn't able to distinguish between the two. Let's go to the camera setting, and this is how the camera looks. The camera looks really nice. You get your normal zoomed camera. You get your ultra wide, and as you can see, ultra wide is really wide. It's covering a lot of space. This is your normal and this is your digital zoom. If you look back at the camera, these are the different camera sensor that you get in the phone. In the middle, you have your wide angle lens. On the top right, you have your main camera. This is also your 64 megapixel camera. On the left, you have your macro lens, and this is your depth sensor. And on the top left, you have your flash. So this is how the camera settings are. And in the front, you also have your 20 megapixel selfie camera. So let me just take a couple of pictures and see how the camera looks. So this is at the normal. Let me zoom it in. This is how after zooming it in. And this is after. This is the wide angle lens. So let's take a look at how it looks. So this is the wide angle lens. Let's zoom it in. In the wide angle lens, the details are nice. I like the picture. I don't really compare minute details. If the picture looks good, I'm happy with it. So this looks really nice. This is the normal lens picture, and this is the normal lens picture, and this is your zoomed up picture. So you can see zoomed up picture also looks nice, and the normal lens picture also looks really nice. In the normal lens picture, you will get the best quality of the phone that you can get from the phone. So now let me go into the setting, and here you can see a couple of options are available. You get your macro lens. So if you click on this small flower, now you can zoom into small things to take pictures of small things. As I've done this with my previous phones, you can see here is a small car. Here's the tire of the car. This is how the tire looks, and I can take pictures of this very close up picture of the tire. So let me take a picture. So I've just took a picture of the car tire, and as you can see, you can easily see the car tire, and this is a very small car, as you can see here. The other use of the macro lens is sometimes we want to read something off of a product or information which is not that easily available. As you can see, this is a AA battery charger and you can't read this easily, so all you can do is go into the macro setting and now everything is, you can read everything without any problem. Without the macro lens, this is how it looks. With the macro lens, every information is easily readable. So macro lens, you wouldn't be using this every day, but sometimes you need to read something very small. That's where you can use the macro lens. Here is your selfie camera. Let me go into the setting and show you the selfie camera. This is the selfie camera. Let me just show you, take a picture. And so this is after taking a picture of the selfie camera. This is the selfie camera picture, and as you can see, the selfie camera picture is also quite clean. Okay, now let me show you the video setting of this phone. So let's go into the video, and here you can see you get your pro option. In the pro option, you can change different settings from the camera, your focus, your shutter speed, you can change the ISO, you can change the exposure value, and you can also switch between the lens, which is also nice. So you can go from normal wide to ultra wide and then to macro. So let's go back to the video setting. If I go into the setting, you can see here are your different resolution available with the phone. You get your 720p 30 fps, 1080p 30 fps, 1080p 60 fps, and finally your 4K 30 fps. With this phone you also get slow motion, so let me go ahead and take some slow motion. So to go into the slow motion, click on the more setting, and then here you can see the slow motion option. In the slow motion, if you go into the setting, you can see various different frame rates are available. So for the 720p, you've got your 120 fps available, 240 fps available, and 960 fps available. With the 1080p, you've got your 120 fps available. So with the 1080p, you can maximum frame rate that you can go is 120 fps. So let me show you a video of the 120 fps slow motion and show you how it looks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spin this on this table and then record a small video and then show you how it looks. Let's do that again. So let's see how that looks. So this was the slow motion at 1080p 120 fps, and the slow motion looks really smooth. I like the slow motion of this camera. And here are some other samples of the cameras that I took. So this is a picture of a flower that, as you can see, the bouquet looks really nice, and the colors on the flower, the colors on the leaves, the green color, then the background is really nicely blurred. So the picture quality of this camera is really nice. Another sample is this picture that I took on a farm. This is a picture of cauliflower, and as you can see, this is a daylight picture. You can see the leaves looks, the details on the leaves, the details on the flower itself is really nice, and the color of the wood is also very nicely reproduced. Another sample that I took of a far distance image of a building, and in front of me you can see there is a small leaf. Again, the picture looks really nice. The colors and the shade on the leaves are really nice. Another picture is a little close-up. I don't remember whether this was a shot using a macro lens or not, but this is a small flower, and as you can see, this is a common purslane. The flower has is not blooming yet, but you can see that this flower is very small, and the leaves are also small, but as you can see, the details are really nice, and the picture quality is also nice. The camera is not confused between the background and the foreground. The camera quality is decent. Obviously the Samsung camera quality is going to be better, but overall I would say I'm really happy with the camera quality of this phone. And that brings us to the end of this video, and before I end this video, I have to admit that I am a little late uploading this video. I did got the phone when it was newly launched, but unfortunately due to some reason I wasn't able to upload the video at that time. So it has been more than 6 months now, and as you can see that the phone cover is also a little bit yellow now. This is how the phone looks from the top after many months of usage. And as you can see, at the moment I'm charging my phone, and I'm not using the fast charger, because when using a fast charger the phone gets a little warm, which may not be good for the battery in the long run. So whenever you get a chance, try using a different charger. At the moment I'm using a different 2.4 amp charger. This is not a fast charger, just a normal 2.4 amp charger. So avoid using the fast charger whenever possible, and that should increase the battery life of your phone. Overall, the phone is really nice. It is still really snappy. As you can see, it looks perfect at the moment, and the phone still feels really nice. So there we go. This was my video on the Poco X3. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.